And welcome back. Picking up where we left off last time in Landalar, in Shadow Empire Republica. And our computer needs its robot army run. So I suppose Twitch chat has left a comment. Drink break, snack break. Yeah, that was the shorter breaks. I do 2 short breaks and then usually a bigger one in the middle to go get a new cup of tea. But here we are, round 35. Over the intern, we suffer no losses nor many kills. We have 5 decisions. Twitch chat saying, why don't you bother dealing with factions, like giving positions to members who match your regime's features and getting rid of those who don't? As a general rule, as long as you stick to a very tight list of regime profile, the factions will slowly align with you, and that's what I do. So at the moment, I'm caring more about quality in my leaders rather than which factions which. Partially because, but by the time I sort out quality, then I start worrying about factions. So I care more about quality because the factions will slowly align with what I want. If I can keep stuck to them. Probably the only. Oh, we got the soldier morale. That's good. Got that promise complete. Got bikers. The only counselor I probably would have fired for being the wrong quote-unquote faction profile mix was actually the secretary, and he rebelled. Right, that's how bad you gotta be early game to get fired, is to be the secretary. And to be fair, the previous secretary kept his job because he was the secretary. He didn't do very much. I suppose we can actually go look at the factions, because people are bringing it up. Factions. We got 3 factions right now. We got the Justice Knights, which is Merit Heart Government. So this is actually our most powerful faction at the moment, with 97% of the vote, which is probably because I'm giving them... They probably have most of the people, right? So they got 6 of the people. And then we've got this faction with 1, this faction with... Actually, a lot of people in this faction. It's a fairly weak faction for how big it is in leaders. We are a democracy, so people vote more than faction leaders. But yeah, democracy, government, heart. This is my alignment, democracy, government, heart. So it probably explains why we got a lot of people from that faction, right? Mind, democracy, government. I not really interested in mind, but democracy, government's fine. Heart, government, again, not a problem. Not really interested in merit. So the answer here is most of the guys we're hiring are just mostly aligned with the government regardless. The factions haven't diverged enough. And we're in a situation of it's Justice Knights and Steel Front that have all the leaders as is. And then we've got a member of the reserve pool here, which is my replacement, which is Damien. Again, government democracy. So this is a person I don't have a problem with. I think the only person we really had a problem with was the secretary, and it was the old secretary, the one who rebelled. And yeah, he was the only one that wasn't really aligned. Okay, national decisions. Demand that I hire their candidate. Okay, we'll hire your candidate. He's terrible. If we have a 0 retirement, he's probably going to get retired. Model Design Council. Yeah, that can stay in that balance. Design target. Is there anything I want to research? Medium tank, and I think the redo on the light tank is waiting for polymer armor, which has been delayed in exchange. Actually, has that one been delayed? I think it's still working on polymer armor. Still working 76%. So yeah, waiting there. Okay, get some planes, but that's not really going to help very much. So I think just do no new orders here. CEO has an emergency. I don't need more dangers, so we help the CEO, which gives us government and commerce. And I don't need merit anyway, so yeah, we'll just help the CEO there. Art versus enforcement, we are aligned, so we take the overall XP of the unit. Have the 6 start to march out to deal with the rebels. Them plus the units already in the area should be enough to deal with those rebels. first come help with the Phoenix Bond front. Don't like Oxydon's drop down the 21. There's not much I can do to stop that decline. Could do a international event. That would be expensive, but doable. Sure. Okay. Leaders, Shadow Diplomat, Vector Foreign Affairs.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Major international event.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
So success, plus 10 opinion. That should delay them declaring on us. And again, I don't think we're good enough to... Yeah, 35 versus 163 is a little bad. 35 versus 105 is too terrible, but we're going to hold off on that. Missing a member of the 5th. That's the entire first. Is he over here already? No. Yeah, missing a member of the 5th. Does I get a unit destroyed at some point? Nope. 5th is all on the map. Okay. Find it in a bit.
Mission completed.
Advancing.
Mission successful.
There we go. Mercanteers have been defeated. Second, yeah, missing... Displaced one member of the 5th somewhere. Probably got pulled off to do something somewhere, and I never put him back in the right spot. Oh no, no. Can I just not count? I just can't count. They're all there. Okay, running low on bullets. That's easy enough to fix.
Understood.
Connect these roads. Putting you back because you'll be useful for running up and down the road. And I want to get the 4th and the 2nd controlling the northeast. Big open area down here where problems can happen. Okay, that's the motion of the troops. Solar panel did finish. Worker opinion is rising, which is good to see. They would like to be paid more. Well, why, I appreciate the feeling you're being paid like a third of the entire revenue of the city at this point, so... Although I suppose you are more than a third of the city, so that's maybe makes some sense. crashed the price of fuel on the previous turn. We'll crash it a little bit more.
Understood.
Do the same for metal.
Understood.
Okay, I don't have a... No retirement, so we're not going to try to retire anyone. Yeah, cycle the turn. At the moment, we are still in 7th, so we haven't really gained, we haven't really lost. We're at war with both Phoenix Bond and Ridge Space, but collectively combined are about the same strength as us. And then, who's the Oxy Dawn State? So they're actually number 4, although everyone's pretty tightly bound, all at the same sort of level at the moment. Turn. But yeah, when it comes to Mad Envy's comment earlier, because he left a comment just as we brought the this portion of the recording going, which is, why don't I bother dealing with the factions? Often I'm more of dealing with the leaders rather than the factions. Again, this is partially because factions usually align with the profile of the nation, at least to a greater or lesser extent. So we've been running democracy, government, heart, and all the factions have basically aligned to that on all but one axis at most. So I don't necessarily need to be too picky right now. We are trying to go syndicate computer, so when one of them decides to become the syndicate faction, we will probably try to empower the syndicate faction, because I'm going to try to go computer as quickly as possible. But that has more to do with the minutia of getting the computer in power than trying to empower a particular faction. And that should pop up as an event in the VidCom when one of the factions get picked to be the Syndicate faction. Killed 100 infantry, 10 tanks, lost 200 infantry. It's round 36. We have 6 decisions. Demand democracy profile reach at least 61. I will agree to the demand because we're trying to get it to go up. Enforcement versus Heart here. We're going to go for the Heart option. Tell the managers to stop this elitism.
Yes.
New organization. I do not want to waste political power. I don't want to waste bureaucratic power on these orgs. The two that are probably the most interesting to grab would be Staff Council for more oobs, or Orders of Battle, or Secret Service Council. Don't really want to do Applied Science. I don't really need to do anything involving the Air Research Council at the moment. Okay, so we've had a minor worker strike. I was expecting that to happen eventually. We are going to give into some of the demands, which is going to cost us money. And Champions Polymark Workers. They're proposing a raise. So they're proposing to undo the wage decrease that I proposed. I'm gonna say I want the government. And that would be a worker happiness buff. Fine, I'll relent and we'll go back to the old pay rate, I suppose. Art democracy. We do have a demand to get the democracy up, so let's do the democracy option. I think that might actually meet the demand at that point. Yeah, so as long as democracy doesn't go down before next turn, we'll complete our demand. Get some word score that way. No gun retirement yet. I need more political power to grease the machines. Definitely feeling the revenue burden. Let's go with income tax.
Yes,
Get
sir.
income tax up again. And up the sales tax.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, we'll do some bureaucratic
Yes,
pushes
sir.
for more bureaucracy.
Yes, sir.
Governor is perfectly happy. Do a cabinet
Yes,
retreat
sir.
a couple times to buff both the opinion in the cabinet and, more
Yes, sir.
importantly, the XP on the Foreign
Yes,
Affairs
sir.
Counselor. The opinion of my generals. I'm gonna be the easiest way to check that. Yeah, this will work. Done. SHQ, or not SHQ. HQ. Oh, relatively high. The lowest is 70. And yeah, I think the party we probably want to do the most to buff the standing of Democracy Government Heart, good old Steel Front here, is actually the one that's in command of the army. Like, fully in command of the army. They're just full of army troops. Okay, construction-wise, everything is done. I do kind of want more industry, although now that we're not building, catching up pretty quickly. And maybe there's an argument to not be hiring more workers, because workers are getting relatively expensive. Industry-wise, oh, we're going industry 2. Although going 2 to 3 is the same as going from 0 to 2, pretty much. Value. The other thing I could do, heavy industry would be nice as well. We are hemorrhaging bullets every once in a while, so some ammunition factory would be good. I'm gonna not do anything right now. Yeah, I'm gonna resist spending on artisanally making some bullets. That's not the workshop in it.
Understood.
Yeah, I'm very rapidly apparently dumpstering the prices on a whole bunch of different things. Trying to keep the treasury loaded. So hopefully the increased taxes help. The other thing I could potentially do... yeah, the other thing I could potentially do is try to lower the law upkeep. Although that can't cover the expenses, I've got to get the worker cost down. And to get the worker cost down, I need to get this score down. Bureaucratically entrench themselves. So this is making all the workers more expensive. And it's increasing. Oh dear. Yeah, maybe I should resist trying to expand the bureaucracy then for a while. Let's cycle the turn. Twitch chat's asking, what are my thoughts on laws? I find myself barely interacting with them. Bureaucratic points are too precious, and laws with money cost are meh. Well, at this point, because of what I picked to go first and Reddit voting on what faction, what sort of meta role-playing to do, the only faction law, or the only laws that I've presented and passed and try to keep in play were the militia laws. The militia laws are definitely pretty interesting. But most of the time I've been playing democracies, so for most of the laws, I've just been going with what the democracy wants. Parliament votes Law X through, so we have Law X. Has been most of the way I've been dealing with laws. So you've been saying BPs are too precious. I'm kind of the other way around. I'm well, replace the P with a different one, right? So I don't have as much problem spending BP. I have problem spending political power. So I have very poor control over laws because I tend to spend my political power elsewhere. So it's whatever the parliament wants is usually what laws we've got in the countries I've been running, because I don't have the political power to overrule them most of the time. Or I was doing the previous run was a spoiled democracy fist-led run, where I was trying to do like militia primacy. So we were trying to keep all 4 militia laws active at the same time, which we did pretty much maintain. But that meant I had to basically keep political power around for whenever they voted one of them out to vote it back in. But yeah, laws are interesting. I think I probably need to play a bit more of an authoritarian run to get a good idea of how valuable they are. Right now I'm sort of getting, because I'm running democracy, I'm getting saddled with whatever the parliament wants most of the time. We're on Landalar, round 37. We killed 200 infantry and 30 tanks. We have 1 decision. Democracy is what we promised, although it had declined 1 point. We were at 32, it's declined down to 31. Got a cortical stimulator. Okay. Got another bureaucratic push. And a 0 retirement. Okay.
Mission successful.
You're low mountain. You're low mountain. So I suppose I actually probably want to come up that approach. I might want to do something with the volcano, which is why I'm expanding this direction. Okay, so I'll get a better idea whether or not we have the action points to get the points up the road. I think we still have the action points. We might be running a bit low at this point. Yeah, we got the stretch. We can go a little bit farther than that.
Advancing. Do no harm? Yeah, right.
Going in. Mission successful. Going in. Mission successful.
Darn, I was hoping to run it down at some point. That's just one, as you can see, one buggy unit, buggy subunit. So if we can actually catch it, it'll get destroyed pretty easily. Yep, that balance seems reasonable. You know, happiness of the workers is going up. Although the workers are requiring a lot of money to keep happy. And that score is continuing to go up. Maybe a little bit tempting. I've been trying to go government and avoid enforcement. Just to give in to a little bit of enforcement to get that score down a little bit. Sort of temper the government a bit. It'll be based on events mostly if that happens. Yeah. The other thing I should do is I apparently should be sealing some roads. Okay, sealing that road. Yeah. Okay, that should help with logistics out in the front. Would like to take over this territory. Phoenix bodies aren't worth us, but they're probably not properly deployed to stop us because they don't actually see us through the non-aligned forces. So we'll see what the 1st Infantry can get up to tech-wise. Orgs, eco, 6% a turn. So slow. 7% on polymer. So 2 more turns and we should actually have polymer armor. Do grease the machine.
Yes, sir.
Lose 1 political power, or gain 4 political power, cost 1 virtue. Okay. And yeah, I think I will go ahead and do well-being.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Power. Think your population, right? Happiness. I think that's regular happiness. I got political power, we'll roll it. See if we
Yes, sir.
get worker happiness on it. Ah, it does do worker happiness. Convenient. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's 0 retirement. You're pretty decent with Camp 3, and I want to empower the Steel Front anyway, but you're not, so...
Yes, sir.
Shrink you. The other thing I'm doing right now is I'm waiting for one of my factions to become the syndicate faction. Once that happens, I'm going to try to rapidly empower that faction. Because our goal in political system is I want to become syndicate democracy, ASAP. So I need a syndicate faction with minimum 25% of the vote, and 140 turns minus the power of faction attitudes towards syndicate democracy. So right now we're looking at 153, but if you got 25% of the vote, that's going to be a positive number, not a negative number. Yeah, so rolling towards. Then laws right now, I don't think we have any laws that are, like, terrible. Quality of life's pretty nice. I don't have a problem paying bureaucratic power for that. Universal medical care, again, not terrible. Extra health, more fertility more than anything. Again, no problem playing bureaucratic power. Democrat constitution is just fine. And then the popular laws are all credit costs. Worker happiness, private economy gets better. Private economy gets better. Population worker happiness. I don't have a problem paying credits. Because again, from a cost standpoint, my big costs are just paying the workers, apparently. What's the revenue deficit? Still running a net deficit, okay. Yeah, 289 is like half the deficit. The big cost is the salary to the 1C. This is why I need to stop expanding the, well, stop expanding the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is maxed out at this point. Okay, cycling the turn. Unless there's a decent price on the trade market. We'll just crash the rare market as well.
Understood.
Okay. Twitch chat saying, don't you have to pay absurd amounts of political power to switch peacefully to the syndicate democracy? I have yet to been presented with the option, so I have no clue. On the other hand, I have a lot of political power right now, so that's not necessarily a problem. As long as it's like 100 or less, I'm probably fine. I know swapping between democracy and spoiled democracy is free. if I get presented the option, I've got lots of options for taking like word score or something to get some political power. But yeah, I haven't been presented with syndicate democracy yet, except... Did I get that proposed once in the small democracy run? Might have. But no, I didn't, because I never had the syndicate democracy faction powerful enough. Yeah, I haven't had it proposed. So, I don't know how much it costs. This is my first time trying to go syndicate democracy. Mandalore, round 38. We killed 500 infantry, we have 4 decisions.
Do no harm? Yeah, right. Advancing. Abort mission.
Still have the rebels over there. Don't like the opinion of the Oxydon state. Not sure if I have any way to really stop that. Can I afford to throw 1,000 money at them? That's a good question. Yeah, we're gonna take the enforcement.
Roger
Here.
that.
Sure, fine. You get some security bonus.
Roger that.
The reason is if I can get enforcement up, that'll drive down the extra bureaucracy costs.
Yes, sir.
Another 0.02. What am I rolling? Bribery. 85. Okay. I think I've already given you metal merit. Yes. And a board member spot. Yeah, we're going to say refuses demand but buy some beers. And we did succeed on the roll, so he's forgotten about the wage increase, which is good because I don't want to pay it. Trying to negotiate against Ridge Space here with the gift 400.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Okay, well that was the worst result. Okay, price-wise, combined with what I've got, selling the fuel makes the most sense. Let's sell the fuel.
Understood.
And yeah, I'm just going to run the risk that Oxydon declares on us. If they do, I'm going to have to deploy more brigades, just more infantry, more and more infantry. I've got enough of a buffer state that we can play a little bit loose with the neighbors. Don't think they have a tech advantage over me. So Twitch chat saying, for me it was 1,350 political power, but from merit to democracy. Yeah, so peacefully changing political system. So democracy to autocracy or democracy to merit is usually pretty expensive. I think the orderly change is expensive. Because I think you get paid a surcharge based on how many people are aligned with your current government type. Whereas if you were already democracy, going democracy, syndicate democracy isn't that hard, is my understanding. Although it's still based on how aligned your government is with the syndicate democracy. So I am hoping that the faction that rolls syndicate is one of the more powerful ones, so I can just empower our existing power, if that makes sense. I think it also gets cheaper the lower the virtue you have is. For the fanatical alt ideology. Whereas changing from one to the other without being, well, through peaceful means is, unless your virtue is already low as well, is pretty expensive, is my understanding. Of course, I haven't tried to. We've done democracy straight. We did spoiled democracy, which obviously started as democracy. I haven't, other than going to spoiled democracy, I haven't tried to change governments before. So this is an experiment. We'll see how well the experiment goes. Do some attract free folks. So if I can get the public population up, that'll also lower the upkeep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come, let's make up the turn. But yeah, I've definitely seen why I haven't had any of the events with absurd prices roll for me. I've definitely seen other people on the subreddit roll events where it's like, I want to pick option X. X is like 200, 300 political power, and they have like 50. So there's definitely events that can pop for factions wanting to peacefully change your government form that you can't do for whatever reason. Usually because it's, yeah, I think it's either the faction wants to change or the people want to change. And often it's a situation where I think if you went and did a deep dive, the opposite is opposed, right? So you've got like government, the leaders want X, the people want Y, so it's hard to get to happen, sort of thing. So for example, I think if I were to try to peacefully swap to... I don't think I can do peacefully to autocracy, that would be a palace coup, but if I were to try to peacefully swap to merit, I've got a law in place, I think, that raises the difficulty. It either raises the difficulty or makes it impossible. Not sure which of the two. Until the laws are repealed. So at the moment, I'm stuck democracy. It's a good way to think about it. Unless there's like a coup or something, we're stuck democracy. We're stuck on the 3 different types of democracy. Democracy, spoiled democracy, and syndicate democracy, I think. Are the current laws. The rebels are still over there. Although we dealt with the rebels near the city, so I'm not too worried about them. Okay, not a particularly great showing, but it was our militia versus marauders. We killed 300 marauders, we lost 100 militia, 10 militia guns, and 20 militia armored vehicles. It's round 39. We have 3 decisions. Elections have been held, and the Trader Society, which is the old minority, has dropped to 50% of the vote. He wants to become a permanent appointment on the Supreme Command Council. Okay. And we've completed polymer. Discovered ammo compactation. Got another 0 retirement. Okay. Permanent position for Dutch. Vant Dutch wants to permanently be a member of the Supreme Command Council. And I'm not completely opposed to that. Yeah, we probably just give him to him there.
Yes.
Military Research Council. Objective. Come back to that one. Design target. I think we're also going to tell you. Nope. Okay. Tech-wise. Just did polymer. Ammo compactation would be a 4th in machinery if we're going to automation. Guided RPG is the prerequisite for heavy guided. If I wanted the RPGs to be better, that's the way to go. I don't think I have the reconnaissance right now for good missile play. And we're mostly fighting infantry, so rockets would work just as well. Yeah, probably go ammo compactation. Either ammo or guided. We're going to go ammo.
Roger that.
Advancing. Do no harm? Yeah, right.
Okay, this free folk can be dealt with. There's a lot of marauders out there. Okay. A little better odds against them would be ideal. And yeah, a little worried that we're not going to get recon with as many units brought up as I would like against Phoenix spawn troops. We don't know how strong they are. I think I want to raise another brigade, if I can afford it. Which, of course, will put a new commander, new personnel, one member of the reserve pool. You would be fine on that job, but you wouldn't be great.
Yes, sir.
Programming. Interesting. Definitely not what I'm looking for, Murray, here. Yeah, not what we're looking for.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 0 retirement on actually the most recent hire.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, failure. Used to retire. Well, we'll be back. Yeah. Here,
Yes, sir.
push. It's tempting to attract free folk, but we're gonna pass on that. Okay. Oh, I can try to trade. Do another attempt to grease the machine.
Yes,
3 is better than nothing. I think this gets worse the more frequently you play it. Less effective played often. We're not going to wait 20 turns every time to play this, so we're just going to play it at random because I forget how long it's been usually. And yeah, from an offense standpoint, I think we want to attack down this road, take over Jura, come up around the bottom of the desert. So probably want to be attacking into Phoenix Pond more than we want to be attacking to Bridge Space. Although, the other reason I'm deploying the brigade here is I'm worried that Dawn State's gonna begin get hostile. In which case I'm just gonna need more. More. That might not be a terrible place for a city. Not gonna start raising colonists yet, but think about it. Yeah, that score is still going up. The more that score goes up, the more we pay the workers. Oh, we're back up to the 3rd, or back up to 6th. Things are not going super terribly. Let's cycle the turn. Might play one more turn, see if we can get rid of the rebels. And then we'll put the midstream break in where I go make a new cup of tea. So coming up on tea time. Not seeing anything particularly hostile. So the rebels had their turn, they didn't really go anywhere. Not a bad trade against the rebels, I suppose. Or the marauders. Killed 700 marauders at the cost of 100 infantry. It's round 40. We have 4 decisions. Ooh. 400 GR automatas. Peace monument, okay. Raise all my diplomacy rolls by +10. Still cold with them, which is good to see. Ah, it's the bunker. Still, autonomous robots for the eventual computer. Not gonna complain too much. L3 attack is not super bad. We'll do that move, and we'll attack with a 2. If we win the fight outright, they completely surrender.
Engaging enemy. Need backup.
Not quite. Although if that suppressed them enough, they might not take it in the territory back.
Engaging enemy. Need backup.
Yeah, close but no cigar. Okay, getting into decisions for the turn. Enact private economy stimulation law. On the initiative of the Trader Society, the Parliament is holding a vote whether to enact the private economy stimulation law. Actively coaching and help the private economy with the government experts will increase its productivity. Also requires semi-voluntary investments by the traders. Law effect. All public investments into the private economy get doubled by the traders. 7% remaining BP or minimum cost of 63 bureaucratic points. I could influence this to not pass. Because I believe a tie is not a pass. So if I did influence, I think in theory the Steel Front and the Justice Knights would prevent the passage. But again, I don't mind public investment in the private economy. We want that to happen. I'm not worried about losing 63 BP, so we'll just lean back and let it happen.
Roger that.
Gained Mind +3, Democracy +2. Interior Council task priorities.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
confirm that. Diplomat decision. Democratic activists requesting asylum. So I could say no and gain opinion with Oxydon at the cost of democracy. We gain some enforcement, which would help to get the large expenditures on government to be a little bit less, because that would help lower this score. Although the rest value is 61, it would take quite a bit of enforcement to get it to the point where it's actually going down and not up. I think we not interfere here. This is going to cost me democracy, which hurts, but the enforcement's not too bad, and I want the relation improvement with them because I'd prefer not to have a third war going on. New commander for the 7th. You have offensive tax, you have demolition. You're not great, but you're fine. I can tolerate it, fine.
Copy that. Mission completed.
Try to get some spies on these guys. Spies don't help that much with reconnaissance, but
Yes. 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 Yes.
I'm going to hope with 21 they don't declare on us. And I'm actually going to send them north for the moment. Not group move. G2 move. Group move with the SHQ on that tile is not going to work. And then we have these guys sort of splay out to help encircle these guys. Maybe potentially the third move off and actually work as a full unit. And yeah, I think that's where we're going to put the cycle the turn and put the part break in. Grab a little bit more free folk.
Yes, sir.
Or the merrier. Unmodified total workers are relative to, and BP specific workers relative to total populace. So the bigger the population gets, the lower the target. Also helping to get the value limit closer. Okay. Cycle the turn. No indications that Oxydon's Day is declared on us. End of their turn. We may unintentionally get some help going forward with the Oxydon State helping us with the Phoenix Bond War. Based on the fact that they're both at war with each other, so we might be able to slip in here and take advantage of the carnage. As soon as this end turn here ends, on the start next turn screen, we'll go ahead and put the part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, we will have another part up tomorrow. We're going to record 2 more parts today, about an hour each. In the meantime, if you're watching on Twitch, I am going to go ahead and make a cup of tea. So I've got a cup of tea for the rest of the stream, as I usually do in the middle of the stream. Yeah, I think we can encircle that city. I'm not sure how valuable that city is offhand, but we would like to have that city. Yeah, got massive exposed north front to the non-aligned. Well, I haven't got around to finishing the rest of the grunt upgrades. We'll look into trying doing that next turn. Next part, we'll be picking up at the bottom of round 41. We did suffer no losses. Of course, we didn't get any kills during the end turn. We'll have only 1 decision, so surprisingly a small number of decisions for the next turn. So until then, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part and/or stream, and bye for now.